Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be covering the top 7 mistakes I see most beginners make in ground realistic battles. You stop making these mistakes, your kill death ratio is going to go up, you're going to have more fun, you're going to get more RP, you're going to progress in the tech tree, you're overall going to do better. Listen, I am not the best ground RB player, but I can tell you I consistently see these mistakes being made by players in ground realistic battles. Smash that like button, do the subscribe, hit the bell, do all that. Let's get into it. First thing you should do for ground realistic battles is you should lower your expectations. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, one, at level 1, you will be playing with level 100 players that possibly have as much as 10 years experience in this game. You should lower your expectations. Now, does that mean you should expect to do bad? No, but you should just understand what it is you're up against. War Thunder doesn't necessarily have a system that disincentivizes high-level players from playing their favorite BR range, right? Their battle rating. Some of these guys, they just love World War II tanks. Some guys love World War I tanks. Some guys just want to mess with a new tank that came out. You're going to be facing hardened, battle-tested veterans that have been playing this game forever. Lower your expectations. Don't get burned out. Don't get frustrated. Understand that you have a lot to learn before you're really going to be good in ground realistic battles. Number 2. This is a mistake I see made all the time by new players. Let your tank burn. Okay? You see the little fire icon. You see the little pop-up that says, press this button to put out the fire. Quick, quick, quick. Your tank's going to burn up and you're going to die. Okay, that's not true. It will happen eventually. You will burn up eventually. But the follow-up shot, the reload that you're performing, probably what's happening is you and the other tank are going to trade shots. You're doing a reload, but your tank is on fire. The follow-on shot that you're loading, that your loader is actively working on, is more important than the fire that is burning on your tank or vehicle. If you delay that reload and the other player shoots you a second time, that is far more detrimental to your tank than it is if you just let it burn for a little longer, get that second shot, hopefully the kill shot off, and then put out the fire. The damage models in War Thunder around fire for ground vehicles are not so advanced that the difference between 2 seconds of fire and even 10 seconds of fire is not that great. And if you do blow up because your tank catches on fire and you finally burn up, you are probably dead anyways, rather than taking, I think it's like 5 seconds. Well, I guess it depends on the crew, but the fire suppression, that delay in performing your second shot reload is much, much worse than just letting it burn, getting that second, hopefully, kill shot off, and then putting out the fire. You'll be fine. Number 3, use stereo sound and not your headphones or whatever 7.1 surround sound. This is a personal mistake that I made for a long time. I thought, hey, I have all this cool gadgetry and this good sound system that I can really try and get that surround sound. Ultimately, I went to stereo sound, just left-right sound, and I got appreciably better. My echolocation of enemies got much easier. You don't really want the richness of the 7.1 surround sound, which most headphones can't pull it off anyways. That's an entirely separate topic. But just being able to pick out left, right on your sound, just really being able to exactly pinpoint where in the left, right that enemy is way better than having the full surround sound. And sound in general is incredibly important in ground forces, realistic. And you should turn your own engine sound and pretty much all the other sounds down to minimum and turn your enemy engine sounds all the way up. So that's kind of a, if you didn't already do that, that's 2 tips for you. So use surround sound. I promise you the left-right fidelity will be way better, and it's better than any 7.1 surround sound. And then also make sure that your sound settings, you have everything else turned really, really low and enemy engines turned all the way up. It's gonna serve you very well. Moving on, mini-map. The mini-map is, again, something that people are so focused on what they see in front of them and trying to spot that tank that they neglect the mini-map. There's an option in the UI to make it bigger. I've made it as big as the UI will allow me to do it. And what you see is when enemy tanks get shot or get blown up or get spotted, they're going to show up on that minimap. You need to allow yourself to have that overall view of the battlefield and don't get so tunnel vision on just what you can see. Because as you learn the maps better and as the spotting gets better, you're going to be able to know where to go on that minimap to get to that enemy or where to avoid in particular, things like that. Another bonus tip on this one is if you are in between shots, and I'm not saying hold down the spacebar, but if you're in between shots, and let's say you missed your first shot or you didn't get a kill shot and you're concerned that you're not going to get a second shot off or that you're going to die or something like that, use the MG, spray at the opponent's tracks. That's going to light him up on the minimap, and maybe your teammates are going to come over there and help you out. So, use the system, use the minimap to your advantage, and also provide information using the minimap to your team. That's a huge step up in your game is once you start leveraging that minimap, calling targets, calling artillery, just the whole spotting system in general is something that you kind of have to learn. But use the minimap, use the information, the scouting that those light tanks are giving to you. Use that information to your advantage. Fifth tip, here we go. If you don't already know this, well, one, you should use your binoculars. That's kind of, that's not even the tip. You should already be doing that. Even as a beginner, if you're not using it, binoculars are very important. But what you probably don't know as a beginner is that you can actually use your binocular view to to line up your shot, right? So basically, for computer at least, you go into binoculars, you left click where you want your turret to turn. If you see the indicator, then you can hold down left click and press the shift button. It will, or whatever your gunner view is. So if you're holding down, if you're in binoculars, you're holding down left click. So you're aiming the turret, you got it lined up where you want, just press the gunner view. It will immediately shift you into the gunner view and fire the shot. So this will help you peek, this will help you hide, this will help you finally adjust your elevation on those really sniper shots. Obviously use the range finding, but at a quick little snapshot when you just want to put it right over the target and you want to fire at that elevation, try that method out. It really helps on vehicles that have a good gun but poor optics. The Tiger 1s come to mind. I really use this a lot with the Tiger 1s because they shoot pretty flat, but at the same time, their zoom is not great. So, Bino to gunner sight shot is very important. It's something I don't see most beginners making use of. Number 6, you're going to hear this from any getting started video. You're going to hear this from any 5 tips or 6 tips or 7 tips or any YouTube video that you're watching out there about ground realistic forces or really arcade or any ground RB and War Thunder in general. Learn the maps, learn the maps, learn the maps, learn the maps. Go into custom missions, go drive around, go explore, go figure out where the enemies are coming from, figure out where the main lanes are. Figure out where to look left, right. This is a insanely underrated but probably overstated skill. Most people know that they should be learning the maps, but the difference between the really, really good players and the good players is, I think, map knowledge. I still struggle with this. I've been playing for 2 years. I'm still learning maps. Understand that you can't control the map rotation like you can in other games. So you're going to have to do a little bit of your own external research. You can't just play the same map 10 times in a row and learn it that way. You're going to have to see the same map over, say, 2 months. Or to speed that process up is to get in there and do a custom mission or something like that. Or watch some YouTube videos. But learn the maps. It is incredibly important. It is probably one of the most important skills for War Thunder ground realistic battles. All right, and then the final mistake that beginners make is they don't learn the weak points of the tanks that they're going to face. Now, this is easy to sort of get by with in low ranks. Like rank 1, you can sort of get by with this. I do suggest learning the tanks that you're going to face, but especially as you get into rank 2 and rank 3, you're going to be facing a type of vehicle. Like you're going to see a bunch of Shermans, you're going to see a bunch of Type 34s, you're going to see, or T-34s, you're going to see a bunch of KV1s. You're going to see a bunch of KV2s. You're going to see a bunch of Panzer 3s. You're going to see a bunch of Panzer 4s. And you're like, wow, that's a lot of weak spots to memorize. It's really not. Like, once you learn where the weak spot is on one T-34, it typically applies to most T-34s, and you're going to face them in multiple nations, so it's really worth your time and investment to learn those weak spots. A Sherman tank, they exist in literally every nation in the game, I think, at this point. So it is worthy of your investment to learn the weak spots on a Sherman, because you're going to see it a lot. You're going to see it from like BR 30 to at least 6-7, right? That's worthy of an investment to invest in it. And then you'll start picking up on the differences between the variants, like the Sherman versus the Jumbo versus the, whatever. You're going to learn it. But if you just kind of give yourself do a little research ahead of time, learn about T-34s, KV-1s, KV-2s, Shermans, Tiger, or Panzer 3s and 4s, and I guess some of the, Stuarts, and some of the things, you're just going to see a lot of them. It's really going to pay off. Your kill shot ratio is going to go up. Your one shot kills are going to go up. It's going to really pay out. And so when you're facing 2 or 3 enemies, if you can get that first shot off, and then it's going to give you the chance to maybe survive against multiple enemies. If you're still shooting away at an ineffectual spot on some enemy, you're going to be focused in on that one enemy. You need to learn how to kill quickly. You're going to need to know where the weak spots are on the tanks you're going to face. That's it, guys. That's all I'm going to do today. Just some mistakes that I see a lot of people making. Go out there, do better, learn more, and drop in the comments if you got a mistake you see beginners making. I'm interested to see what you see out there, guys. All right, that's it. Have a good one.